Hey, what's up YouTube? OpTic Ashes here, bringing you another video, and today I'm going to be talking about something I see happening a lot on Twitter, and I'm speaking specifically in the Gears of War community, and this is, I'm gonna title this excuses, and the reason I'm going to talk about excuses is because I feel like it is something that is holding a lot of people back, and on top of that, it holds back the community from growing. Now let me issue a disclaimer this. I'm not going to mention any names specifically, but I have had a few conversations with people and I see a lot of kind of like the same issues arising, and it all comes down to people just making excuses. And I think this is something that should be talked about so that people get a better understanding of why it's such a hindrance towards anything in your life, but in this case particularly esports, and even more particularly Gears esports. So we all know what an excuse is. It's a reason that we come up with to justify not doing something or why we can't do something. I've made excuses all the time. I used to make excuses why I couldn't upload on certain days. I made excuses as to why I wouldn't stream on certain days. And honestly, I would have an issue with just not having the energy, or maybe not having the time, but over exaggerating in my own head and then convincing myself that this was a valid reason or an excuse as to why I couldn't do whatever it was that I couldn't do. This is an issue that I'm now seeing plague other people who want to create content, as well as people who want to compete. And that is what I'm going to touch on, are the people who are going to compete in esports or in life, you know, whatever. There are a lot of reasons for people to compete in esports, and there are a lot of people who say they're very hungry to be the best. And on top of that, there are people who really badly want to be a pro player, a pro team. Even if they're not the best, they want to be up there. You know, they want to be in that upper echelon of teams and of players in any esport, but I'm specifically talking about Gears of War. One of the things that holds a lot of these players back is the fact that they make excuses. They make excuses for why they lose. They make excuses for why they didn't sign up for a tournament. They make excuses for why they didn't go to a tournament or, you know, attend a LAN event. They make excuses for everything that could be negative, and thus justifying it to themselves that it's okay because it's almost not their fault. And then there are some cases where the excuses are valid. You don't have the funding to go to an event, or you don't have the time because, you know, a family emergency or whatever the case may be. The thing that I don't understand is the people who say they want it so badly, they want it more than anything, but then they can make an excuse every chance they get to not work towards that goal. So like, you want to be the best player in the game, but if you lose, it's not your fault. And maybe it's not your fault. Maybe it was the connection. Maybe it was your shitty teammates, but those sound like excuses to me. And that's where it leads to roster changes, which we've seen a ton of roster changes lately. Oh, we lost because we had this player on our team and we'll be better now. And again, sometimes that may be true. I feel like too many people rely on excuses rather than identifying problems, which then prohibits growth. It prohibits development. It hinders your ability to adapt and be better than you were before. Now, specifically what sparked this whole idea of a video, or this whole thing that I wanted to talk about, was basically seeing how many people were saying that they weren't going to attend MLG Columbus, which is the big first open event for Gears of War 4. It's the first one that any team who wants to sign up can attend. The team pass is like $200, and if you show up, you can compete. It's a 3-day event. It's a lot of money, $250,000, and it's going to be a blast. But a lot of people who I know are diehard competitors in Gears of War are saying they're not going to attend. And that to me doesn't make sense. And I've seen all the reasons. I've seen I don't have a good team, or there's too many roster changes going on right now, or I'm looking for something long-term and don't want to be on a temporary team, or I don't have the money, or I don't have the time. Those last two I get. I understand if you don't have the money, you truly cannot afford to go to this event, and you truly do not have the time to go to this event. I get that. My question is, all the other times where you were competing on teams and you were scrimmaging and you were spending those hours practicing, saying that you wanted to be a competitor and saying that you wanted to be a professional player, why were these not issues then? Why was it not a reason for you to just quit then rather than when things are hard? I think that a lot of people are doing what I did, where they come up with these reasons when times are tough, when they don't have a team or a solid roster or a full roster, and they come up with reasons why they can justify to themselves not participating in that activity. which in this case is attending MLG Columbus. My counter to that is, by not going to MLG Columbus, you're missing out on experience. You're missing out on the ability to build connections with potential other teams, and you're missing out on just practice in a different environment, because LAN is different. Even in Gears of War 4, LAN is much different than online. By not having those added values to you, to your personal identity as a player, you're not as valuable as the person who went there and won a match, or even didn't win a match, but they played well, because now they have a little bit more credibility. People know that that person will show up. I've seen them in person. I know they will attend an event when they say they will attend an event, because they have done so already. Whereas you weren't there. So I guess before I ramble on for too long, my point of this video is, if you have a legitimate excuse, that's one thing. If money is really that tight, if time is really that tight, I understand, and don't go, because there's other priorities. But if you're a diehard Gears of War competitor and you want to be a pro and you're striving to be at the level of the other top pros, you can't make excuses and then be okay with it. I went to several LAN events in my own Gears of War competitive career in Gears of War 2 where I played with pickup teams, and I played horribly, and I placed horribly, but it was still worth it. I still got a great experience out of it, and I made awesome connections, and I made awesome friends, and it led to future teams that were even better than the one that I was on when I was there. So all of that is helpful and beneficial to you, and you are supporting the community. You're giving back, you're upping the attendance numbers, you're competing. All of that is helpful. I guess my point is, guys, I want to see the community grow. I want to see the game succeed, and I want to see a lot of players out there succeed as well. So don't hinder yourself with excuses. Don't justify reasons why something's not okay. If this is truly, honestly what you want to do, go for it. But don't give BS reasons why you can't do it. Be true to yourself and to those people around you. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below what you think on this whole subject. I know this is kind of a different pace of a video, but it's something that I really feel strongly about, because I see a lot of friends who are starting to fall into that category of making excuses. So I hope that this helps some people, and I hope that you guys can learn something from this. So this is kind of going into the Gears 4 beginners section, except it's not really for beginners. I don't know. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, like I said, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button down below. I really appreciate the support, guys. As always, thank you so much, and I will see you all in the next video.